Hi, Casey Durango here. Go Keto with Casey. Lots of excitement. Right before I started to click go live, Jack started barking, and our sons are and their families are visiting today. And I thought they were getting here later, but they're here now. So Jack is very excited. He's outside. So I will just keep right on up. Hope all is well. Everything is great here. It's a beautiful day, a little bit chilly. I'm Casey Durango of Go Keto with Casey, where I like to talk about how I've lost 97.4 pounds since starting the ketogenic protocol, how you may be able to lose weight, improve your health, and regain control of your life like I did. Today's topic is one I've talked about before, and I think it bears repeating. Keto confusion. It is getting crazy out there, for real. I hear from a lot of people, and there is genuine confusion. And one of the reasons there is confusion is not because the protocol is confusing. It's because there's a lot of wrong information out there. So for those of you who don't know or who need a reminder, the ketogenic protocol is one whereby you reduce your carbohydrate intake to a level where your liver stops putting out glucose at crazy rate. Our bodies still produce glucose. Our livers do it through gluconeogenesis, but it's not a fire hose like it is when you're eating carbs. You reduce your carbohydrate intake to a level where your liver stops pumping out glucose, and our bodies happily switch over to burning ketones for fuel. First of all, let me see. I can see a lot of stuff popping up. Can you guys see and hear me? Howdy, gang. Okay, okay, great. And you can hear Jack, who is saying hello. So I'm sorry about that. So this, and in comes baby Siggy. Hi, guys. I thought you were getting here a little bit later, so I'm doing my weekly YouTube live. So just make yourselves at home. Oh, Jack, and if you'll give him a cookie and tell him to go to bed, he'll go to bed. And he'll. Okay, so sorry about that. It's real life. It's live TV. Okay, so that's what the protocol is. You reduce your carbohydrate intake. If it's not on page 4, link below, don't eat it, but you don't even need a list of food. Don't eat if you're not hungry. Stop when you're satiated. I promise you, that is the sum total of what works. That is how I learned it. It is how I practiced it, how I've lost this weight, how I've kept it off for 7 years. I'm going to cover the camera because granddaughter's going past, and we're very picky with her online exposure, like she doesn't get any. That's it. So I'm going to repeat. Keep your carbs 20 grams or fewer a day, total, not net. That's the first bit of confusion, net carbs. I'll talk about that. 20 grams total, not net, or fewer a day. If it's not on page 4, link below, don't eat it, but you don't even need a food list. You eat fatty sources of protein, which just means eat the fat that comes with the protein. Eat the skin that comes with the poultry, eat the oat yolk that comes with the egg, eat the fat that comes with the ribeye, etc., etc., etc. Don't eat if you're not hungry, and stop when you're satiated. So there's no mention of grams of anything other than carbohydrate. There's no mention of grams of protein or grams of fat. There's no pie chart. There are no percentages. There is no indication of what time of day you should or should not eat, or how long you should go in between eating. Just don't eat if you're not hungry. If we listen to our bodies, we are not robots. We rarely will have the same fuel requirements every day of our lives. Some days I'm very hungry upon rising in the morning. Not often, but some days. Some days, I don't eat solid food until 2 p.m. Listen to your body. Now, this whole net carb thing, let me tell you about that. First of all, do what works for you. I'm telling you what worked for me and what pretty much will work for anyone. This will work. As Dr. Westman has been quoted as saying, I can promise you it'll work. I just can't promise you'll do it. Like so many things in life, right? So if something else is working for you, fantastic. The thing is, most people who are listening to me or part of my private Patreon support group, things are not working for them. They're struggling. Jack is so confused. He's verklempt. The baby's over here, and let me cover over the camera again. Okay. There she goes. She's grinning at me. She's grinning pretty big. She's pretty cute. So she's checking things out. So if things aren't working, ask yourself, am I following the protocol? Or have I gone out and bought all the products? There's not one product that you need to buy. And frankly, there are a lot you absolutely should not buy or consume. The larger the word keto is on the label, the faster you should run in the opposite direction. Okay, I was in the grocery store yesterday and near the pharmacy, so not like in the candy bar section where it should be. Slim Fast Keto Fat Bombs. Now, come on, those are just Slim Fast bars that they slap the word keto on and fat bombs. 15 grams of carbohydrate. On the front, it says keto friendly. Yeah. On the back, it says 15 grams of carbohydrate. I haven't eaten 15 grams of carbohydrate over the last 3 days. Net carbs is a made-up thing. I'll say it. It's a made-up thing. The theory is, sugar, alcohols, and fiber are not absorbed by the body, so they don't count. I never really kind of understood that. And there's a reason I don't understand it, because it's not necessarily true. There's no real data to back that up. You know who loved believing it, though? Food manufacturers. It's very difficult to create shelf-stable, non-refrigerated food products without putting stabilizers in them. And what are stabilizers? They're generally made from carbs. They are flour, or they are, whatever they put in to make them shelf stable. The extreme of that is the Twinkie, the 60-year-old Twinkie. Somebody found it was just like the original Twinkie. So don't be fooled. There's no food product that will. So this Slim Fast thing, if I remember, it says helps proven to help you lose weight and keep it off. Really? Eating a candy bar is going to do that? Because if that was the case, I'll just have a Snickers, which I really like. And another thing is, it's great when I have my chocolate craving. Here's the deal about cravings. You won't die from one. And like my stray cat, if you don't want it coming back, don't feed it. If you don't want a craving returning, don't feed it. I'm going to make sure you guys can hear me, because I never know. Sometimes things just stop. Okay, yes, you can. Good. So net carbs, do what works for you. Keep in mind, though, something can work, and then 5 years later, it doesn't work so well anymore. Why? Well, because you're 5 years older. Your body chemistry can have changed. Hopefully, you've lost weight. So you need to tweak things. More confusion. You must eat fat to burn fat. Wrong, false, not the way it works. It's not the presence of the fat. It's the absence of the carbs. Let me repeat this. It's not the presence of the fat. It's the absence of the carbs. Now, some wags say, well, if you're going to go really low carb, you should cut back on your fat as well, because then you'll really burn body fat. Well, this is problematic. For one thing, there's a lot of energy in fat. There's 9 grams of energy in every calorie. No, 9 calories of energy, excuse me. There are 9 calories of energy in every gram of fat. There are 4 calories of energy in every gram of protein and carbohydrate. So the fat gives us energy, but you don't overdo it. This is not a high fat diet. This is another bit of confusion. This is not a high fat. All that fat's going to kill you. It's just not low fat. Think of a teeter-totter. Protein generally stays pretty stable, and you do what you want to do, but I have no idea how much protein I consume. And even the recommended amounts have about a 50% swing in the recommendations. And they don't say which end of that 50% swing you should be at. Here's the formula. I'm getting it correct. 1.5 grams of protein for every kilogram of reference weight of your body. Reference weight is how much you should weigh. 1.5 to 2.25. 1.5 to 2.25. It's a big swing. So the protein generally is kind of self-regulating. If we overeat protein, we tend to not feel that great. And then it becomes less efficient. If you're overeating protein, it's not efficient. The protein is, but if you're overeating and looking to that for lots of energy, it becomes less efficient the more over what you really need in protein to go. And what do you need? Listen to your body. So think of protein as the fulcrum. It's the middle of the teeter-totter. There are 3 macronutrients: protein, fat, carbohydrate. If protein stays the same, and the other parts of the teeter-totter are carbohydrate and fat, if you go low fat, as we did for decades, the carbs go high. If you go low carb, there's more fat per proportion, but it's not like you're adding fat. You're still getting 100% of your calories from whatever way you're getting them. Whether you're doing Weight Watchers or vegetarian or low fat or low carb or some amalgam, 100% of your calories are coming from some combination of fat, carb, and protein. It's just when you're eating fewer carbs, the rest of the 100% is made up with fat, but it just comes with the protein. And it's not high fat because you eat less, because your appetite is suppressed. So it's not loads of fat. And no, you don't need to eat 200 grams of fat every day. That's just, it's just made up. 200 grams of fat a day would be 1,800 calories. Again, I haven't eaten 1,800 calories over the course of the last 2 days. And I certainly didn't do it in all fat. More confusion. Apps. My app is telling me that I still have to get in 225 calories, but I'm not hungry. What do I do? Well, if you're not hungry, don't eat, for goodness sake. Don't let an app tell you what to eat. Don't let a talking head on YouTube tell you what to eat. Listen to your body, our body, the original app. Listen to our body. But if I eat less, I'm going to go into starvation mode. Please remove that phrase from your brain. People who are starving go into starvation mode. People who have not had food in 10 days because they don't have access to food go into starvation mode, and everything ramps down so that what they are doing can become more efficient. Skipping breakfast, you're not going to go into starvation mode. Another bit of confusion is we become very surprised how little fuel we actually need. Wait a minute, that can't be right. I eat half this bunless burger and I don't really want the other half. That cannot be right. That does happen. It's wonderful. It's how it works. More confusion. Feeling like you need to chase recipes. No. You can cook the way you always did. Just leave off the carbs. We have seafood and poultry and steaks and liver and pork chops and eggs and bacon. We just don't have hash browns and biscuits and bread and pasta. We will spiralize a zucchini and have tomato sauce. Hi, Sig. Say hey to Jack. They're exploring. You can go say hey to the chickens, too. Oh, good. So nice to be able to see family again, right? Everyone here is fully vaccinated, even our young people, because they are technically listed as farmers because they're developing 10 acres of land in Hillsboro as a food sanctuary, a food forest, and a teaching farm and an ecotourism place. Anywho, squirrel. So, confusion. You need fruits and vegetables for nutrition. No, it's actually this is very nutrient dense. If you want nutrition, eat animal liver, chicken liver, beef liver. It's the most nutrient dense food you can get. Vegetables don't have that much nutrition. They're mostly water, for one thing. And they just aren't that high in certain things. And you have to eat a scat of them to get this, huge. You have, like Elaine Bennis on Seinfeld, you have the big salad. And vegetables are not free food. That's another confusion. Well, I thought I could eat all the vegetables I wanted on keto because, keto is a free food. No, they're limited. About a cup a day of non-starchy vegetables before they're cooked, and about 2 cups a day of leafy greens before they're cooked. Maximum. There is not a minimum amount of leafy greens one needs to have. That's another thing that's out there that a person on the interwebs repeats. Please keep in mind, if someone is trying to sell you pills and kits and things to make keto easier, it's possibly because they've tried to make it confusing for you. And there's just bad information out there. It's just flat out wrong information. So be careful of your sources. No wonder we're confused. I'm going to repeat the protocol because it's no more confusing than this. Now, if you want to know why it works, I highly recommend The Art and Science of Low Carbohydrate Living by Doctors Stephen Finney and Jeff Bolick. If you go to my blog, under resources, you can see recommended volumes, books that I read. But that really made it clear for me why it worked. The white coat video of Dr. Eric Westman is what got me going in this. I'd given up on losing weight. If you go to my blog, you can see my before photos. I was morbidly obese for 30 years. Those before photos are not at my heaviest. And I'd given up on losing weight. I was on the verge of, I knew, having to take insulin for type 2 diabetes. I knew that was the next conversation I was going to have with my doctor. And I didn't want to do that. So I Googled how to not take insulin for type 2 diabetes. White coat video of Dr. Eric Westman from Duke University. Keep your carbs low. It's not on page 4. It's his page 4, by the way. Don't eat it. And there are a lot of bootleg versions of page 4 out there. The link below that I have is copyrighted. So it's the official. And he's a smart guy. Don't eat if you're not hungry. That's it. But we as humans, for some reason, we like to make things complicated. So I was asked, now that you're pretty much near where you want to weigh, and I pretty much am. I've been weight stable for 4 years now. And I wouldn't mind losing 2.6 more pounds. So I can say I've lost 100 pounds since starting the ketogenic protocol. I'm actually 115 and a half off my heaviest. But I'm pretty much where I'm very happy. So the question, now that you're pretty much where you are, will you go back to eating regular food? Another bit of confusion. I eat absolutely regular food. I eat eggs and chicken and turkey and shrimp and scallops and pork chops and steaks and ground beef and pulled pork. Right now with my family coming, special request to have ribs. So I have St. Louis style ribs on the big green egg since 7:15 this morning. So we'll have ribs and coleslaw, which I made, which is cabbage and a bit of mayo and a little bit of mustard. And I've got some vegetables here. They're more veggie eaters than I am. So I've got some vegetables there. I probably won't partake of too many of them. I made homemade ranch dressing, and I'll roast some zucchini and onions. It's regular food. I'm just not making biscuits and desserts and French fries and rice. It's regular food. As a matter of fact, there are no special foods. There's nothing that you can drink that will get you into ketosis. You might get a positive reading on a device or a urine strip, but you might as well just take the urine strip and stick it into whatever you're drinking, because that's what's getting read. You want nutritional ketosis. You want your body burning ketones, which is where the name comes from. Ketones, bodies are fat. They mobilize fat cells. So take a step back. If you're truly confused, I recommend this. Whittle down your sources of information. You don't need to hear everything everybody has to say, because a lot of it's just not right. Listen to Dr. Eric Westman. Listen to Stephen Finney, Timothy Noakes. There's a British cardiologist, Asim Malhotra. People say, oh, you're going to have a heart attack. Listen to Asim Malhotra. Find a good source. And if something just doesn't sound right, and if someone's trying to sell you something, oh, by the way, shameless commerce divisions, you don't have to buy anything, but shameless commerce department of here, I'm going to show you. These have been selling like crazy. I found another supply of these magnets I had a long time ago. Are you here out of hunger or out of habit? All these you can get on my blog. Well, not all these. This you can get at Amazon. Go Keto with Casey, 12-month record book. You'll get it faster, and it's a couple of bucks cheaper if you go to Amazon, because Amazon. This you can get at my blog. It's a spiral version. This is really probably better. This is a journal. Well, not just a journal. It's got lots of stuff. It's got pages and mood tracker and doodle pages and inspirational stuff at my blog. This I'm pretty excited about. This you can get under this video at my Teespring shop. I buy these myself. Go Keto with Casey, steel water bottle. And on the back, silliness, eggs, bacon, me. And saying, if I can do this, you can do this, I promise. Avocado and baby chick. And it's huge. It's much bigger than I anticipated. And my husband wanted one, so I got one for him. And he uses it for work. Okay. And next thing, what am I drinking? Tall glass. This is hashtag Casey's Pink Drink. Filled with ice. Lots of diet tonic water, a splash of diet cranberry juice, a squeeze of lime. I get asked every single video. And speaking of Dr. Westman, this Tuesday, May, whatever the day that's going to be, the 4th, the Durham support group meeting online with me on Crowdcast, him and we're together. On Crowdcast, it's free. It is registered, and the spots are limited. You can find that registration at my blog as well under my schedule. If you follow me on Crowdcast, then you'll be notified anytime I do a live thing. And last but not least, thank you to patrons. I know several here are here. And our private Patreon group, where I do 20 video snippets from my kitchen every morning before I even let the chickens out. 20 a month. And the suggestions usually come from patrons themselves. I have a spreadsheet set up, and they say what topic they want covered. And a handful of patron-only live streams on Crowdcast, and a handful of patron-only video group sessions on Zoom each month. I am no longer taking new one-on-one coaching people because I'm busy. So there's all that. There's the commercial. Now I'm going to turn. So keep your carbs 20 grams or fewer. Total, not net. It's not on page 4. Don't eat it. Don't eat if you're not hungry. Stop when you're satiated. That's as complicated as it needs to be. I will now turn to some comments. If you guys, before I start to wrap up here. Hey, ketogenic. The spiral bound version is great. Thank you. Miriam Al-Kabir, I apologize. Food marketing and social media influences are adding too much confusion. I worry to even say keto to people. Instead, I say anti-inflammatory lifestyle. That's very good. The simpler, the better, right? Why do we want to make things complicated? Hey, Debbie. Hey, Debbie, are you still visiting? Ketogenic writes, now I'm in the mood for a nice steak and maybe some eggs. Perfect food combination. Okay. Siggy found the remote control for a new light fixture we have. It's a floor lamp. It's about 5.5 feet tall. It's taller than I am. And you click it, and it has all these different colors that morph. It's really cool. She found it and clicked it. Kids, because they come out of the womb knowing about remote controls and swiping. It's amazing. Mrs. K, love exercising, walk daily, ride my bike, lift weights 4 times a week in the gym, but will be in a cast for at least a month. Want to prove that I can still lose weight on keto with no exercise. You know the saying around Go Keto with Casey, I don't exercise. I just dress like I do. Exercise is awesome for core strength, bone density, mental health. discipline. It is ineffective for fat loss. Ineffective for fat loss. The fat loss comes from your nutrition, and that means laying off the carbs. You know, I work out on the Total Gym, and I'm pretty pleased. I mean, look, you know, bicep. And I'm an oldster. So, you know, cover over the camera for my family did not volunteer to be on camera. So I always move it when my husband walks through in the morning, I shift the camera because he really did not volunteer to be on camera. B. Gray writes, I like that anti-inflammatory diet instead of keto. And hey, Mary, I just say I have sugar instead of, I just say I have sugar instead of keto. I find that stops the questions and unwanted advice. Okay, I don't think that's what you meant to write. Here we goes again. Hey, Shell. We would totally understand if you need to go. You were so blessed with an awesome family. I am, but you know, I'm going to wrap up here in just a couple of minutes. Just want to make sure I do like to acknowledge when people show up. Human candle burning bright from UK. Hey, Yvonne. Good to see you. Is there anything else I needed to remind you guys of? Durham Sport Group meeting on Tuesday, free. Spots are limited. It is a registered event. Oh gosh. KT recovers. My psoriatic arthritis pain has dramatically diminished since restarting keto. It's great. Oh no, another carb confusion. And this might be my last topic. Carb cycling. Why? It's like tobacco cycling. You give up tobacco because it makes you feel bad and you cough and wheeze and it's bad for you. I gave up carbs because it makes me feel like crud, raises my blood sugar, makes me puff up, make me moody. So I laid off the carbs. Would I tobacco cycle? Just to shock my system? No. Want to shock my system? I stab myself in the thigh with a knife. B. Gray, by the way, 10 days on prescription strength keto, and my pain is way down. That's Dr. Westman's phrase. The 20 grams a day, that's prescription strength. Some people can do over the counter. They can do 30 or net carbs, whatever. Just listen to yourself. Okay, Penny, good luck, Penny. I'm hoping my hot flashes will leave with page 4. Any thoughts? No, they will probably increase. Sorry about that. But not forever. The reason being, when fat is mobilized, it's not just fat inside those cells. You hear Siggy giggling. There are hormones and cholesterol and triglyceride and water and lots of things are released. So the hormones can actually increase it, but it'll pass. This too shall pass. And I saw, Trish, earlier that you were there. I hope your surgery went well. I'm glad you're home. Okie dokie. I am going to sign off. Thank you very much. Thank you to the patrons whose support allowed me to leave my previous career. And thank you for all of you showing up and allowing me to be part of your Saturday. If God willing and the creek don't rise, I will be here next Saturday as well. And hey, listen, if you have topics you'd like covered, because it's the hardest part for me is coming up with a topic. Talking is easy. You know, shoot me a message under this video. There's not really an easy way. I guess you could do it through my blog. Okay, let me know. I'm interested in what people want to talk about or hear about. Thank you very much. Keep your carbs 20 grams of fewer a day, total not net. If it's not on page 4, don't eat it. Don't eat if you're not hungry and stop when you're satiated. And be kind to yourself, but be honest with yourself. All right, guys, I will see you next time. Toodaloo, caribou.